this.
What is going on, guys? So, I haven't made an Is It Bad video for a while. Now there's a card I kind of wanted to talk about because you see decks play it, you don't see decks play it, then you see decks play 2 of it, and then you see decks play only 1 of it. So, I wanted to talk about Dark Hole, and is the card bad at this point? Because you got the people that always say it is, and then you got the people that say it's not. So, is it? So first off the bat, we've already talked about how destroying monsters, well, not talked about, in this game, destroying monsters is just not as good as it used to be. Destroying monsters used to be really good, and now it's really not that good. Not that it's bad, but it's not anything near like it used to be. And now, with Raigeki being a card, having Dark Hole destroy your own monsters doesn't really seem like a real reason to do that. Even though Dark Hole is at 2, most people opt for Raigeki. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to play Raigeki, play Raigeki. I got nothing against that, but we still have Dark Hole as an option, so should you play it, and is it bad to play it? And there's a point where I'd say yes and no, so hear me out. A lot of people will say just don't play Dark Hole. Oh, it's a bad card. They've always said it's a bad card. And then for a while there, when it got back, people were saying, oh no, it is a good card. Play it with Raigeki, and then it changes. People go through phases. People usually like to go with the crowd of whatever is topping in tournaments, and then they'll base their opinions off of that. But here's an opinion that is not based off of any winning decks or anything like that. It's more based off of what I've seen people play and the reasons of why to play this or not play that. So the first one of why to play it is its extra destruction power. It's extra removal, field removal, not necessarily because your opponent won't be able to bring that field back, but it can remove the field to allow you to go forward. And it's more than just Raigeki. So you have Raigeki, but then you also had a Dark Hole. That's mostly the reason why people play. It's an extra. Some even go the extra mile and play 2 Dark Holes with Raigeki, but you don't really see many of that if people are going to play it, and you don't really see that many people play it over Raigeki. If it's played, it's usually played with Raigeki. So why would you want to play Dark Hole on top of that? So you get the extra destruction, and it does not target. That's the thing that really draws it, just like Raigeki does. The only downside is it destroys your field. But if you have that extra destruction power, sometimes removing one of your own monsters or remove 3 of your opponents is just pretty good in this game. Whether or not your opponent can bring them back or not, being able to destroy 2 or more of your opponent's monsters and wipe their field in the sacrifice of maybe 1 monster in your field, or you have none, is pretty good. It's a pretty good thing. Before Raigeki, we had Dark Hole. That's all we had. We only had 1. That was our removal, and we also had like Heavy Storm as a removal. So the fact that people were like, oh, now that we have Raigeki, Dark Hole is bad. And while formats have significantly changed since then, it still plays the same role that it did then. Nothing changed. Raigeki is the better option, but if you have room in your deck for an extra spell card and you want to play your own personal tech, playing a Dark Hole is not a bad option. Like I said, any deck can advantage off of destroying your opponent's field. Any deck. Any deck at all can gain advantage by destroying your opponent's field. Now, the only really deck that I can think of that you don't want to destroy your opponent's monsters because it doesn't really benefit you at all, in fact it makes their deck stronger, is Fire Kings. But how many people are playing Fire Kings? Not that many. Any that you can speak of anyways. So while I don't recommend playing 2 Dark Hole with Raigeki because then it gets a little cloggy, there's nothing wrong with it. So people were asking me before in my one deck that I was playing 3 Smashing Grounds. The reason why I was playing Smashing Grounds instead of 2 Dark Hole and then like a Smashing Ground on top of my Raigeki that I had in the deck is simply because I like the fact of Smashing Ground it's not targeted wherever they choose the monster, and people are like, oh, well, Dark Hole does the same. Sometimes you don't want to destroy your opponent's it's hard to explain. I like the reason for Smashing Ground that I'm not destroying my field and the entire field, but that is a good example of a time to play Dark Hole if you aren't a fan of Smashing Ground. I had room for 3 extra spell cards. The deck wasn't that packed full of extra cards. I had room for 3 extra spell cards, and there wasn't anything significant I could play with the deck. So if you want extra destruction, throw 2 Dark Hole in there and play some other spell or trap card, tech card in your deck. And that's a lot of destruction. Like I said, it can get a little cloggy, but it also at the same time you draw 3 into it. Oh, your opponent has a full field. Raigeki. Your opponent has a full field. Dark Hole. Your opponent has a full field. Dark Hole. They could probably come back from it in this state of the game, but the fact that they have to go the extra step to come back from it is the reason why the cards are good. So in this long rant that might not make a lot of sense, Dark Hole is still a good card. The only reason I was gonna do a video on it is because you always see those people that still bash it. You don't see it as often, but you still see the people like, Dark Hole because it's garbage. I play Dark Hole over Raigeki because I think Dark Hole over Raigeki is better because this. They're both great cards. Dark Hole was our Raigeki. Raigeki replaced it only because Raigeki doesn't destroy our monsters, but if Raigeki got taken away, what would people play? Dark Hole, because it's still a decent card. It's just that it destroys your field too, and that's never really run into a problem with me. I'd say there might have been, like, out of all the duels I've ever had, there's only like a few where I'm like, oh man, I really can't Dark Hole and destroy my field. Most of the time, it does not matter, but once again, that's just my opinion. Let me know down below what you guys think about Dark Hole and if it's still a good card, is it still viable, or is it trash like everybody else thinks? Let me know down below, and I'll see you later, guys. Peace.
Damn. Yeah.